So like I said, this is a pretty standard platformer. You have left, right, and you have the ability to flip. And I also said you had the ability to kill yourself. That is actually very important because we can skip the whole first level right now. We're going to have to go back to get the 2 trinkets that we missed earlier. I'm going to be looking down at the camera because I'm looking at my laptop because the refresh rate isn't completely correct. So, all collectibles. There are 20 trinkets in this game. We're going to go collect every single one of them. The one you're probably all wondering about is Vvvvvv, or doing things the hard way. That's actually not the most challenging trinket in this game. Once you do it a few times, you really do get a feel for the movement. So this came with a lot of practice, probably about 2.5 years. So, another glitch that you can do. There's line clipping. If a horizontal line is close enough to the ground, you can just skip right through that. You'll see it right here, coming up. The frame, it's actually a 1-frame trick. You basically have to space 2 actions, 2 frames apart. That's a really bad death. 2 deaths, I was trying to avoid it. So you're gonna see that 4 times, you're gonna see it once here, and you're gonna see it 3 times in the final level. Gonna go a slow way here. Hopefully I don't miss Victoria's trinket towards the middle of it. A lot of this is more optimized movement rather than it being very difficult. Like I said, once you practice the game enough, it's not very hard to not get through with a lot of deaths. I've practiced this game quite a bit. Hopefully it shows. So, there are going to be a lot more minor glitches coming out throughout the run. When we get to the areas that basically give those glitches, I will explain them then. But a lot of times you'll see me killing myself after I collect a trinket. That's basically to go back to the last checkpoint. And that will save a lot of time. Alright, so this is actually one of the last trinkets I found during my playthrough. Just because it's so well hidden. Actually, I think this was the last one. So there are 4 in this area, then I'm going to grab 3 in the overworld. After this, and then there's 1 in the warp zone. Then there are 2 in the tower. Then I'm going to grab another 2 in the overworld. Then there are 5 in Space Station, including the Vvvvvv. Then I have to go back to Space Station 1 and grab the 2 that we missed there. So I'm going to have to go play that level backwards. Like I said, a big glitch of this is that you can kill yourself. For the record, a lot of these glitches that I'm going to be using, and by a lot I mean line clipping and being able to kill ourselves, can only be done in version 2.0 of the PC. Luckily, that's the last one Terry publicly released. There is a 2.1 beta, but if you buy this game on Steam and download it, 2.0 will be the version you get, and I'm forgetting a trinket. So, but the 3DS version will not work with these tricks. Also, you could kind of see there, with 2.0, you have a little bit more time off the ledges to hit flip. That's actually going to be very important coming in Space Station 2 with Gordian Knot, which is probably my least favorite room, by far. In any percent, it pretty much kills half of my runs that get there, more than half actually now. Probably the other half gets killed in Intermission 1, which is the escort mission, because of 1 room, actually. If any of you who've played this game before, there's a room called Not As I Do. What you're supposed to do is go underneath and basically flip a bunch of times. We're not doing that. We're going to do it a lot faster way. But it requires a lot of manipulation, and I'll explain that more when we get there. But right now, we're just heading towards the warp zone. There's 1 more trinket we have to grab before we get there. Before I even get to the warp zone, I'm going to say this. If you have never played the game before, don't try to follow Viridian. You are going to get lost, you're going to get confused. Look at the middle of the screen. It will be a lot easier for you, because it gets really, really quick. So when we're going into the warp zone, their trinket is an edge game, so we're going to do a little glitch. So the enemies, when they're on basically the edge of the screen, they don't really have a hitbox. So if you pass through at the right time, you can pass through enemies. And this is going to be useful because we can skip a half a cycle in edge games. And that's really the only time you'll ever actually see the glitch. And wow, just slightly too early. But, you know, stuff happens. I wasn't going to make it. All right. Rather not die there again. But it gets a lot faster later on. I don't know if you have any donation comments to read. Probably have like time for one or two.
Sure. I have $500 from Leo Doom. Keep up the great effort, all. 500,000 should be a breeze.
I didn't think I could make that. So it is a strat where you flip up, but since I died at the very beginning of that level, I wasn't too sure whether or not I'd be able to make it. So coming up is the edge games, which I don't like the trinket, especially if I can't fall down, or I do that. So you can kind of see it. I'm passing through enemies, but I can't get the lining right. 3 times in a row, I'm just on the last pixel of the actual stage. Let's do it. Great. I just like showing that off that glitch, man. So it's not that difficult of a trick. Another one you're gonna see is if there's a checkpoint on the same map, if you kill yourself, you'll actually get warped to a different spot than you should. And I'm gonna try that here. You saw where I entered there. So let's see if I can do it. There we go. I'm gonna warp to basically the wrong spot where I should have warped on the previous screen. So that can have some really interesting results. I just did a flip that basically skipped having to fall into a gap, and that's the end of the level. But warp tokens, if you kill yourself, like I said, you have to have a checkpoint on the same map. If you kill yourself during that warp token, I don't know how long you actually have to do it, but if you do that, it can get some really interesting results. Like I said, that saves 9 frames if you do that over the normal route that you do. There are a couple places where it'll lose time, and then there's a couple places where you'll get stuck in a wall if you try. And hopefully I'll be able to show that off after this run. So we're going to the auto-scroller of the game, which is called The Tower. A lot of people like this music. I do. It's called Positive Force. I should probably plug that. So the soundtrack is by Magnus Soli Paulsen. The soundtrack name is PPP, and the game is created by Terry Kavanagh. It's really good. That's all I can say about that. So the tower, what I'm going to do is I'm going... Awesome.
Hi there.
Terry?
Hi there. Yeah, I'm having some audio problems here. I'm really impressed by this run so far. You've already done some stuff I hadn't seen before. I didn't know about pressing or when you use the warp tokens. That's completely new to me. So.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm gonna explain that screen. So what I did there, I would like to say I can hear you a little bit better, but the music's kind of blaring in my ear.
Yeah, sorry, I'm having some audio problems too. I'll try to get it fixed.
Yeah, that's better. But so right there, I basically made the auto-scroller faster by killing myself at the top of the screen, using the spikes and hitting the checkpoint at the same time. So it kind of scrolls the screen a little bit faster. It saves 5/8 of a second every time I do it correctly. You do it 4 times in 100% and 6 times in any percent. It saves about 3 or 4 seconds. So. And yes, the game is actually that optimized where those seconds do matter. So coming up is the intermission 1. So intermission flags are set by the number of crew members you have rescued. So when you have 2 remaining, you go to intermission 1, which is the escort mission. 1 remaining, you go to the Gravitron. You won't actually see the Gravitron in this run. So. If you were hoping for the Gravitron, I'm sorry to disappoint you.
It's funny because CE Cliff 2 actually had a $500 donation comment saying, "Have fun in the Graviton."
Okay. Do you want to talk a little bit about the? I don't know what you want to talk about, but feel free to talk about anything.
Okay. Okay. So The level you're playing right now is the first intermission. This is actually the very last thing I added to the game before it was finished. It's probably the weakest level, actually. But I really like the idea of, having just time to talk to each of the crewmates one-on-one. So it's mostly about that more than anything else. You're about to come to probably one of the weakest rooms in the entire game because it's really misplaced. Yeah, here we go.
That.
You're trying to do it the hard way, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So just a quick comment. You're a little bit behind because Twitch just has a little latency.
Okay.
Sorry. We're going to grab Victoria's trinket right now because if you do it any later, then she's going to have an extra cutscene and we don't want to watch it. It basically shows you where all the trinkets are in the game. I know where they all are, so I don't need it. I've done this game enough times. And we're also going to visit the elephant in the room, so to speak. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about why the elephant is there. It's a question I always get when I stream this.
I really don't know what to say about the elephant. When people ask me about it, I normally just deny it even exists, but I guess it might be difficult to do that right now.
I know the rumors are that it's basically it's from Jet Set Willy, or it's a reference to it in the Commodore 64.
Oh, no, it isn't. I didn't realize there was an elephant in Jet Set Willy. So, I actually kept a dream diary when I was making V, and a lot of the enemies are just single visual images that I dreamt about. So just, various things that happened to me. And one dream I had was of this just big creature stuck and trapped in a very small space, and that's what the elephant comes from. I also really like the idea of having this conspicuous kind of surreal centerpiece to the map that didn't fit in with anything else.
I also like that if you stay in that room for about 15 seconds, Rivian gets sad as well.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with that.
So we're going to completely break this puzzle. I think you've seen this before, but if I flip pretty much on the last possible moment when the platform's at basically at the bottom of the screen, then I can completely skip Gordian Knot and just do it the easy way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I saw this last time the game was being speedrun, and it absolutely blew my mind. It's another thing I didn't realize was possible.
There's also, I tried a second shortcut in Gordian Knot that's both frame perfect and sprite dependent, which makes any percent really interesting to run because I can almost never do it because it's just ridiculous. So a little bit of history about this game. I had a 1303 and then Master June released a task of this game. And he did that trick. I was like, wait, you can do that? And then I kind of investigated it. I'm like, this is stupid. It's just gotten ridiculous. I'm going to skip Wendy Wiki. I'm sorry. I'll go back to it later. If you saw my screen earlier, I'm hoping that will be the screen later. So... but as I said, we have to go backwards in Space Station 1, so we're going to do that now. Because we can get there for the exhaust chute.
So is it actually quicker to leave that for later than it is to just do it now when you're going past?
Yeah, because you'll skip the Gravitron. So I should explain that actually before we do it. So like I said, the intermissions are set by how many crewmates you rescued. And it turns out this talking to Violet in her cutscene playing is basically just destroys the game if you go through it.
Yeah.
But like I said, you can kill yourself. And it turns out there's one frame you can hit where you can kill yourself and cancel her dialogue at the same time. And by doing that, you can skip her cutscene, so skip all the variable resetting. And then you can also skip the intermission because it recognizes that one crewmate's left, but Violet's cutscene has precedence over it. But since we skip her cutscene, we don't even go to the Gravitron.
I don't even know how people find that. That's incredible.
So the cutscene skip itself was found probably, I want to say it was pretty early 2012 by Tranquilite. And then the Gravitron skip itself was found by a person called Unpronounceable. That's his name. It's not actually it's not like a name that I cannot pronounce. And so that made it both any and 100% pretty quick. Any percent just got destroyed. 100% gets a little bit insane. So we need to kill it in the same frame. So we just hold R because holding R kills us in the same frame. Normally I leave the room and then kill myself and get back here because I need to reactivate the teleporter. But shoot, really? I'm gonna do this. Oh wait, never mind. I just went to the teleporter. That's a shame. There's a little bit of time that, I can basically go through and have all those banners up. And I was gonna try to go through Wenny Witty Wiki with all those banners up. So that was the screen that I had earlier, but sadly I guess I messed up the setup, and that spike has been killing me a lot with those banners. So
most of these exploits come back to one simple thing.
Yeah, being able to
there's a
kill
bug in 2.0 that restart works all throughout the game. It's only supposed to work in invincibility mode if you get yourself stuck. And it does exactly the opposite. It doesn't work in invincibility mode, and it works everywhere else. But it's not a big deal because most people don't play with invincibility mode on, and people don't know that OR is a restart button anyway. It's not normally useful. My Twitch stream is a little bit behind. I'm guessing you just did doing things the hard way.
Also, those spikes on the edge of exhaust chute don't exist.
Yeah. That's because they're special tiles. They're actually drawn differently and they're not given collision data.
That's actually a slow way to do that, but I missed the queue a little bit, so I should have 19. All right.
On that note, we have officially raised $410,000.
Nice.
In less than an hour, we got an extra 10 grand. So that's insane. Keep donating, guys. You're doing an amazing job.
You should watch after this. I should be pretty well underestimate if I can go for this teleporter. I'm gonna break open this game a little bit more. You should be interested in it to see how much we can kind of kill this game. Let's just say the ending cutscene. Wait, what? What? Do you understand?
I don't have any video stream at all. What's going on?
That's very interesting. Did it not recognize Violet? All right, so I have a backup save. So this is the reason why I have a backup save, because that.
Is this?
There we go. So apparently that also deleted me having Violet, and I'm not too sure why. Wow. I would say that's never happened before, but it probably has, and I just haven't been paying attention. So I'm not going to say that. But I'm going to... Shoot, does this actually work? So I don't know if I have all the check... No, I want to go here. I don't know how many trinkets I have. All right, I'm going to do everything again. That's very interesting. I'm not going to fool around with the Gravitron or the cutscene skip. That was interesting. I don't know. I think I know what happened. I have a hunch. But this should only put me back about 4 minutes. And like I said, my estimate will still be met.
Plus, we have more time to talk to Terry Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
So, what happened there?
What I think happened is when all the dialogue boxes disappeared, it disappeared in the right time. So it, for some reason, decided I didn't rescue Violet. But I think even if I went back to rescue Violet, it wouldn't have worked. So I'm thinking that's what happened. It had to do with the dialogue boxes actually disappearing. I can't believe I died there. But that's a hunch. I would actually have to break this game and see what happens. But like I said, we get to see this again. So that's actually the right order you're supposed to do it. I normally do it as soon as possible. I can show off a little bit more. Anything else I want to actually show off? So I can show off quite a bit in this game. Sadly, I did not have a save right there, but also the time, in-game time, isn't actually going to be anywhere close to accurate because this is a different file, but it just happened to be right there. But like I said, that's what I think. I think it's just, when we skip the cutscene, I didn't know that was a risk of doing that, of waiting there, because normally, like I said, we just leave the room and kill ourselves there and go back to the teleporter. Don't even have all the dialogue boxes appearing. So that was an interesting thing to learn. So this time I'm actually going to do it the way we normally do it in runs. Sorry, Miles. So the only reason why I did that, in reality, was because Miles came into my chat one day and told me to have all the boxes appear, not all of them. So that's actually my own input. He said to have the banner up and just go through the level with the banner up. And I was fooling around with it. I'm like, I can get 4 banners really consistently, which is all the banners at the end screen. But I guess I pushed my luck a little bit too much. There is actually no luck in this game besides the Gravitron, and we skipped that. I said we're going to skip it here. So like I said, what we normally do is we leave this room, kill ourselves there, and then we just warp back. And this time Violet should be saved, just because those boxes didn't disappear. So that was interesting. Do you have anything to say? Because I guess I'm doing all this over again.
Sorry, I'm like 1 minute behind your stream. So are you just going into the Gravitron now, or are you skipping it?
No, I'm skipping it. I am currently on seeing $signs, or right before Wendy Witty Wiki. And I'm just gonna, I have prize for the Reckless left. I'm not gonna show off this time. But yeah, like I said, that was probably a 4-minute setback or something. I don't know. So Visage is actually one of the harder rooms to get down, trying to go fast, because they're just awkwardly spaced. But at least I didn't hit any checkpoints there. So prize for the Reckless, what you do is hit the checkpoint. And you have to go through the rest of, pretty much all the rooms, and just go through them without hitting any of the checkpoints, which makes it a little bit harder. Especially if it's your first time, because you'll be hesitant, and you really can't afford to be hesitant on anything. So now we should have all of our crewmates, unless Violet decided again that she doesn't want to be rescued, even though she's back at the ship the whole time. So there we go. All right, so now we're finally coming up on the final level. So the final level is basically taking all the area elements, and basically putting it all in one level. And I meant to flip there. Oh well. A little bit of time waste. So, Predestined Fate, followed by Positive Force. I'm going to do a few things that don't seem exactly normal. And by a few things, I mean only a couple. So in 2 screens, you'll see what I'm talking about, hopefully. There we go. So you can just like go underneath the saucer there. I don't know how precise it is, but it's pretty tricky to set up because you have to be pretty close in the previous room to kill yourself. But it saves like half a second. And then we have 3 more line clips coming up. Kill ourselves there because it gets us to the checkpoint. So time slip is my worst enemy. As you can tell, I'm just not getting I'm just leaving it too long. There we go. Line clips are, at the end, they're just annoying. They're the same every time, but I've had my any percent record basically not happen because of the line clips at the end multiple times. It's cost me everything, so it's annoying to put in there. Shout out to Master June for finding out the actual way to do that, because before we just mashed. For these auto-scrollers, I'm lining up when I should move with the top of the screen, or in the tower, I'm lining it up with the bottom of the screen. So that's how I know when I'm pretty much safe. And time is going to be when game complete shows up. So this is going to be a fun time. I'll tell you when time is. Okay, time. Yeah, so. You're supposed to do it earlier. Like I said, that game time isn't accurate at all anyways, because, yeah, that was very interesting. That game time is not accurate for two reasons. One, because I had to put in a new save file. The second one is because the game runs at 29.4 something frames per second, and the timer thinks it's running at 30 frames per second. So there's a mismatch there, and basically causes the timer to run slower than normal. I'm gonna spend like 2 minutes completely breaking this game. It's not gonna take that long. You'll be interested in this. You'll be very interested in this, actually. I'm sadly gonna skip the credits.